Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you had a wonderful Sunday. I was gonna have my G4 shirt on, but I already got a barbecue stain on it, so it's in there. It's got some OxyClean. Hopefully the stain comes out. I was able to take a photo, so I'll use that as a thumbnail. So it's just a plain shirt, but we got something made, So trying to promote, just like we talked about last week, trying to promote Jesus, really reach people. So we're asking the question this week: can we believe what we see? Can we believe what we see? Had a lot of discussions with people over the last week or two, actually probably month, about just it's so hard to really know what's going on right now in the world. And I think we have reached a place as people where we question everything. We question whatever news story we see. We question a photo, videos, because we know all that stuff can be altered. So we've reached a point as society where we question it. Even if we see it with our eyes, we question it because we're like, is that really true or not? Is that real? And the only thing that we really have full confidence in is if we're there and we experience it and we see it with our own eyes. That's when we have confidence that it actually occurred. And so that's why we ask the question, can we believe what we see? So we reach this point where we're talking about the fact that when you experience it, that's when you believe in it. That's when you know that it's real. And so I was thinking of this, and I was thinking of the fact that people question God and whether or not he exists and he's real. And it reminded me of a man named Thomas. He was a disciple, and Jesus had died, he was buried, he was resurrected. He appeared unto the disciples, but Thomas wasn't there. And so they told him the story. They told him that Jesus had appeared, that he was alive. And Thomas, he says, I don't believe it. He says, I don't believe it. And he goes on to say this. He says, unless I put my hand and touch his hand where they put the nails at, and unless I touch his side, I'm not going to believe it. And so he said, I can't trust anything that I see or what y'all tell me. I got to experience it and feel it for myself. And so that is kind of where we are today, I think, as a society, where we got to see it and experience it and feel it for ourselves. And even our relationship with God has reached, and it should reach that point where it says, I got to experience it for myself. Nobody could tell me that God doesn't exist. It's because I've had an experience and I touched him for myself. And so no one can tell me that he doesn't exist. Even though I've never seen him with my eyes, I have touched him and I felt him and I've experienced him. Man can't see God. He has too much glory, too much power. Moses in the Old Testament was able to see the back of God for half a second. And when he came down off the mountain, the people couldn't even look at him because his face was shining so bright. That's the glory of God. The fact that these earthly bodies that we have, this flesh that we have, it can't handle seeing that much glory and that much power. And so we have the opportunity to experience him and to touch him, but we can't see him. And so I was thinking of, in my own life, the fact that I have experienced him. What do I tell somebody who wants to have that experience? What do I tell them? Do I tell them to ask for it? Do I tell them just to call on the name Jesus? What do I do? And I reached a place and a point where I think that God kind of showed me. He says, I'm the one that draws. He said, I told Thomas, I put my hands out and I said, Thomas, come touch. I really feel that God is calling and reaching, and he's putting his hands out for people right now. And he's saying, hey, come and experience it. Come and see that I'm real. Come feel and let me show you that I'm really here. And there's nothing I can say to get you to do that, but it's God who calls you. It's God who draws you. And, there's nothing to force you to do that. You're going to have to make that decision on your own. And I would just hope that somebody who was watching this would feel that draw and that call. It doesn't come from a man. It comes from God himself, Jesus, calling and drawing you. And if that happens and you don't know what to do next, a message, reach out to us. I may not have the answers, but I'll direct you to somebody who has more resources, who's smarter, has more experience, and can help you. And if it's within my capability, then I'll try my very best. And, I was thinking on my own life and the fact that when I say I came back to God, but he really was the one that reached and called me. You know, that's kind of why I'm saying that there's nothing that I did. I just remember that I was struggling and going through, you know, a certain time period, and I had made little small changes. That was it. I spoke a little bit about that on this video that we did this last week on music, and it was just small changes. And I was actually in a gym on a Thursday morning. I was lifting. I was in between sets. I was sitting on the bench press, and I was actually, it's crazy, I was listening to a message on YouTube, which is probably why I feel the way I do about social media and videos and how you can use this, because I was literally in a gym. There's other people around, and God touched me during that time period. And I went home and I had an experience with God later. I had to go to work that day, but when I got home later that night, and so I just reflect back on that time period, and I didn't do anything. It was God who was calling and drawing, and it was simply just saying yes and just going and hearing his call and answering his call. And so I can only hope that somebody who watches this would hear that call of Jesus saying, come touch and experience. Come and see that I'm real. And it may not be today. You know, we're putting these videos on YouTube, so it may be 5 years down the road. Who knows? But hopefully, you know, you just hope that somebody would feel that, would hear that call from Jesus. And we appreciate everybody watching. We got a video coming out this week. Excited about. It's about going for a drive. So I've gotten a lot of good ideas about mental well-being. They're not really all mental well-being, but really just kind of been in prayer, trying to figure out good videos to put out there. And I do want to say this too. I hope that anything that we do, any video that we put out, it doesn't seem like I have the answers. I really don't at all. We do research and try to find things out, you know, in order to put out the videos. But I hope they don't come off condescending by any means. I don't have the answers, and I'm in a period of growth just like you all are, and just trying to grow in our relationship with Jesus Christ. And this has been part of our growth process, doing these videos. And so I really hope that they don't come off that way. But we appreciate everybody watching. I see an old teacher just came on here. How you doing, Miss Peck? And buddy from work. It's good to see you, Captain Babers. But we really do. We just appreciate people watching. We're just trying to grow in our relationship with Jesus Christ, trying to help other people grow. And we're just grinding, you know. It's right. You almost feel that there's a season where you just got to plant. And you just got to try to keep putting seed out there. And you may not see, you know, I know I'm using spiritual church terms right now, but it just means, you know, the fact that you just try to put the word of God out there and you let it grow. And it doesn't grow overnight. It takes time. And a lot of that stuff, it just takes time. And there'll be fruit and all that stuff later. But hey, we appreciate y'all watching. God bless, and y'all have a good one.